have with us today for our Silver Spur honoree, the man who taught us what excellence in broadcasting really is, the man who taught us what freedom of the press really means, the man who taught us how to laugh at ourselves and at our critics, the man who every day on 500 radio stations tells America the way things ought to be. The name of his new bestseller. Now, the opinions of Rush Limbaugh do not necessarily reflect the views of the Republican Party, the President Bush, or its office holders, but they ought to. Welcome. So what an old...
Trent Lott is here if you want to recognize him.
All right, Senator Trent Lott is with us. We'll say hi to Trent. Thanks, Trent, for all you're doing. But here's the man you came to hear, Rush Limbaugh.
Thanks, Phyllis. Thank you. Thanks very much. Many people say that I need to be balanced with equal time. Now, how many of you people are in the... Hero lingo, sorry. How many of you people are in the convention hall and not watching on TV? All right. Whoa. That's good, but you don't know how you're being savaged. It is unbelievable. I look out here, I see smiling faces, I see happy, upbeat people, but to listen to what's coming out of here in most of the media, you are forlorn, you are distressed, you are unhappy, you are near suicidal. Well, my friends, I don't need to be balanced with equal time because I am equal time. Thank you. And what you saw last night inside that hall and what you represent in this room today garnered 3 landslide presidential victories in the last 12 years. Never forget it. Some of the news that's coming out of here is that there is a split in the Republican Party. We are split, say the dominant media culture elite, on the issue of abortion. Now wait, hold it. Let's examine this as it really is. We had an open debate on this, and there were people out there who disagree with the position of those of us in this room. And they had an opportunity, and even they will admit that the rules gave them an opportunity. And the leader of their movement rented a truck and drove it here. She had a little sign on the side of it, and she hoped that thousands, hundreds of thousands of pro-choicers would greet her on the way. None did. Now, it doesn't mean they aren't there, but none did, and that's the reality, that's the fact that we have to deal with. When it came time to stretch the rules and to see if we couldn't get a debate on this issue at the convention, they needed how many states? How many did they get? They got 4 out of 50 plus the territories. Not 4 out of 6, they got 4 out of 50 plus. It's not split. It's pretty unified if you ask me. This is not to denigrate them. I didn't come here to do that. I'm simply trying to put this in the proper perspective. It bothers me greatly when we have a Democratic Party which has built its entire chance this time on an illusion, and nobody questions whether there may be a split there. Do you think the congressional leaders are centrists and moderates? Of course not. But Al Gore and Bill Clinton claim they are. That sounds like a big split to me, but it's not being talked about, is it? The only split in this election is the personality of the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. He yelled dittos. Gary said, what was he yelling? Everybody yell it so Gary can hear it. Gary Bauer now knows what that is. Good. Now, I want to talk about just a couple of other things before we have to leave here. Things that are, I think, again, being raised a bit unfairly. As you know, Pat Buchanan last night brought up the contents of some of the remarks of the presidential campaign strategist of Bill Clinton, and that is Hillary Clinton. She's not a wife, she's a campaign strategist. And she has inserted herself into the arena. She has taken the field. Now, there are a number of congressional women or women seeking Senate and congressional offices, and this is being called, therefore, the Year of the Woman. What it really is the year of the liberal woman, because the Republican Party had more nominees in 1990 than they have this year. So it's the year of the liberal woman. Now, what is it that is driving their choice and their effort? They are upset at what? They're not upset at Clarence Thomas. Well, they are upset at Clarence Thomas. No. They are upset, quote, at the way Anita Hill was treated. Now, well, all it seems that you have to do, my good friends, to infuriate them is to tell the truth about them. You simply tell what they say, and they say dirty campaign and sleaze. Hillary Clinton is not a candidate's wife. Hillary Clinton is a woman who said, when you elect him, you get me. She has a paper trail. She's written a bunch of stuff, and Pat Buchanan quoted it. It was accurate. Peter Jennings last night, you didn't see this, said it was not accurate. You know what was not accurate was the 8 years of the media's version of what Ronald Reagan was all about. Never once was there any... I didn't hear one member of the media comment on the accuracy of anything any speaker at the Democratic convention had to say. There is a clear double standard. You don't know this because you're inside the hall. I'm coming and bringing you some news that you don't know about. Now, Hillary, which, look, and I don't want to be labeled a media basher, and I don't think any of us should be. No, seriously, I'm simply responding. They say that we bash and do this. We wake up every day, we see the institutions and the traditions that we think made this country great under assault. We respond, we are defending what we believe in. They call us bashers. We're not bashers. If a paper trail is enough to disqualify an eminent person such as Robert Bork, and if we're going to go back 23 years and make up things that he didn't say, then why is it unfair to go back 19 or 15 years and look at what Hillary Clinton said and say, here, America, this is what she believes. Nothing's wrong with it except that it's true. And as such, it's dirty campaigning. Now, another thing happened at the beginning of the convention that I am amazed that common sense has not been used to analyze. And this is the New York Times story about how we were going to start bombing Saddam Hussein this week so as to elevate the Bush presidency. We'd have convention speakers on one of those screens and the FB-111s bombing Iraq on the other screen was the vision that people are putting forth. Let me tell you, the polls all say that the American people now will not be satisfied until one thing happens, and that is Saddam is gotten. Before you cheer that, let me tell you how difficult it is. And Congressman Dornan, I'm sure, could give you far more detail on the difficulty of this tonight. There are at least as much as we know, 50 Saddam lookalikes. And they're walking all over Baghdad and other places. Seriously, this would require door-to-door, hand-to-hand combat. The loss of American life would be profound. And how would we know, when it's all said and done, that we got the real Saddam? This is too great to smell him. Yeah. It's simply too great a risk, folks. And besides, what would happen is we come out of one of these homes and say, here's Saddam, we got Saddam, and the world cheers. But then that night on CNN with Picha Annette would show up the real Saddam Hussein with a glass of milk in his hand saying, no, it's me. This is a risk that nobody in their right mind would take, especially at this time. If we actually mounted a move such as that, the entire convention would be overshadowed, and this would not be an instant success. And the very idea that this now suffices as journalism, an unnamed source offering an opinion that ends up on the front page of the New York Times, is simply a testament to how eager some people are to get rid of this administration and your home. That's the thing to keep in mind. Now, I want to, in closing, share with you one aspect of all of this. They say get closer. Is this better? I don't lean forward in public. That's my problem. I don't bend over in public. And you never know what can happen. Thank you. Look, folks, there is, as I referred to earlier, there is a daily assault in this country on the institutions and traditions that have made the country great and on what you and I believe. I said at the beginning that what you saw last night garnered 3 presidential landslide victories, and it's true. The news coming out of here is that the Republicans are divided, that the Democrats are united, and that it is you. It is the pro-choice fanatic, or the pro-life fanatics in this party responsible for the doom of the Republican Party. Let me ask one question, and this is something you can ask anybody who accuses you of it. This party, with what you saw last night, won 3 presidential landslides. When did this party get in trouble? This party got in trouble when it was perceived to be moving to the left, which is what everybody seems to think that we need to do. My hope for you is that you remain confident. What was indicated last night to me is that the conservative movement is absent a leader. Ronald Reagan, during his 8 years, made people confident that what they believed was right, indicated that what they believed was the majority view, and made them feel proud and good of themselves and their country. And all kinds of great things happened as a result of that. Now there are efforts to tear that down. And the ongoing assault that you are the problem, that you are weird, that you're a nerd, that you're a kook, that you're an oddball, that you're sick, that you are the reason for decline, is the exact opposite of the truth. And I admire you for sticking to your guns through this onslaught, because you have had the media against you, you have had conventional wisdom against you, but you've got box office and the American people on your side. Let's look at some things very quickly. They say that pro-choice is the automatic winner, that anybody who is pro-life loses. I have the largest radio audience in the world. What am I? I'm not bragging, although I could. I'm simply saying, what am I? I'm certainly not pro-choice. I am pro-life. In the state of Washington, the most recent elections they had a ballot initiative where the people of the state, a very liberal state, could vote on keeping abortion legal just as it is under Roe v. Wade if Roe v. Wade was overturned. They thought they had a slam dunk. They thought they had a 60 to 75 point win. It was so close in a liberal state that they had to take 2 weeks to count the ballots, and the first count showed pro-life the victor. Pro-choice eventually won, but it was narrow. This is not an issue. I was interviewed today by a guy in the press who says, hey, think this pro-life position is eventually going to ruin your show? I said, what do you mean ruin my show? It is my show, for crying out loud. You know all the arguments, and I don't need to make them here. I mean, I'm one of you. I'm with you, soulmates, on this. It is simply a matter, though, that you need to remain confident, and you need to know that you represent a majority. You can decide things, as you have shown yourselves to be powerful this week. I would encourage you to stay confident, to not give up the fight. Thank you for having me, Phyllis, very much. I have had a great time.